Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tamara and this is a channel in which we talk about art and culture in a very open but honest way. So today I'm going to do a review of a movie. Again, like what happened with Barbie, this is not a movie that I saw straight away when it came out. It took me for a few months to get round the idea of watching this movie. The movie is called Blonde. And I know that for some of you, this is like old news because Blonde was released in September 2022. And it straight away became a controversial movie for lots of issues that the movie shows, in which we're going to talk about it for sure. And I didn't watch it straight away. I ended up watching it maybe around Oscar time, 2023. So it was sometime, perhaps February of 2023. The reason why, and like Barbie, I don't tend to watch these kind of movies straight away, first and foremost because I don't like to be part of the buzz of the moment. When everybody's talking about the same thing simultaneously, I kind of, push away a little bit and I try to find my own time to watch and assess things for myself. I do this because I want to have a pure reaction to a movie. I want to assess it for myself. And sometimes when you have too much buzz around, you can't. So that's what happened to me with Barbie, for example. And the same thing happened to me with Blonde. So I knew that Blonde was controversial. Probably that's because it tackles some issues that people do not really like or do not really abide. So we're going to be talking about a little bit about the ethical or unethical behavior when it comes to filmmaking and everything else. So Blonde, it's a movie that it's directed by Andrew Dominik, and it's based on a novel by Joyce Carol Oates, which has the same name, Blonde, and it is like a fictional account of the life of Marilyn Monroe. Keyword fictional. It's a fictional account. I think what Joyce tried to do is present us Marilyn through the view of a myth rather than reality. So this movie that ironically was produced by Plan B, and one of the producers is nothing more and nothing less than somebody called Brad Pitt. But I bet a lot of people don't know about that. Basically, this movie came out in September 2023. It was produced also in conjunction with Netflix. So this is a movie that you can find in Netflix right now. It stars Ana De Armas, Adrien Brody, Bobby Cannavale, among other people. It lasts 2 hours and 47 minutes. And okay, so this is the review a year and a half later, but it needs to be done because this movie, when it came out, was very controversial, and a lot of people brought in serious questions about whether it's okay to do fictional accounts when fictional accounts happen all the time. So I don't really know why people are so bothered about the fact that this movie is not 100% on point when it comes to reality. None of the movies really are, if we have to be honest and if we have to tell the truth. But anyway, the fictional account was somehow, dissected and we're going to be talking about this. Let me start. So the real conclusion that we can make about Blonde, the movie, is that it's, when it comes to the visuals of the movie, it's based on iconic images. By the way, I have here my notes, so that's the reason why I'm looking away, because I'm reading my notes. This movie I watched for the first time in early 2023, and I rewatched it recently twice. So this is an account of what I felt the first time that I watched it, and that kind was reinforced. You know, the feelings were reinforced when I watched it the second time and also the third time. So this is a movie that I watched a few times, and you know, my opinion so far hasn't really changed. So what I'm giving you, it's my real opinion on the movie. By the way, I'm sorry, you know, sometimes people are like, you know, these videos should be short and whatnot, but when you're talking seriously about, when you're speaking seriously about certain issues, you know, there is no short way to do it. So you know, apologies if, you know, this seems a little bit too long for you guys, but I think that when you do serious stuff, everything needs to be taken into consideration. So going back, Blonde, it's an account on iconic images, and it is a very interesting movie, in my opinion. I really like it. I will say that from a cinematography point of view, it's one of the best ones that I have ever seen. It's this mixture of images, iconic images that we have already seen about Marilyn Monroe, and that they are somehow impregnated in our brain. For sure, I'm a Marilyn Monroe fan. I followed her career. I read lots of books about her. I still have books about her. So for me, Marilyn Monroe has always been a subject of fascination. So that's the reason why these images, when I see them, I'm like, okay, you know, yes, these are iconic images. But it's also a mixture of hallucinations and sometimes dreamlike moments, which is kind of these blurry lines of reality and perception and what's true or not. So I think this movie plays very well the whole concept of blurring the lines. Whether we're in agreement or not with the content, it's a different discussion, in my opinion. But this movie is constantly challenging you on this. So so far, to me, it's valid. You know, I find it to be valid. So spoiler alert, because I'm going to I'm going to be talking about the movie, and I'm going to say a few things that happen in the movie. If you're somebody who knows the life of Marilyn Monroe, to a certain extent, there is no really spoiler. We all know that she dies, and that the accusation is that she committed suicide or overdosed in, she had an overdose of, because she was heavily medicated and drugged by the point of her death. So either she suffered an overdose or she committed intentionally suicide. Historians and also this movie tends to push the narrative that she kind of committed suicide because she was a woman that has suffered a lot, and this suffering is ongoing and constant in this movie. So it opens with scenes of her dealing with a mentally ill mother. She's a child. Apparently, at one point, her mother attempted to murder her in a bathtub. So she had a very traumatic childhood. She ended up going to an orphanage, according to the movie. The movie has some very interesting moments when it comes to cinematography. You know, it ranges from black and white to color images. And once again, I think this is cinematography at its best. So perhaps the cinematography, it's at the same level with the acting. So that's one of the reasons why it's one of my favorite movies. I think it's fantastic from that point of view, incredibly creative. And obviously Andrew Dominik takes licenses, you know, and pushes the boundary of license.